Yo, what's good with the YouTube? It's your boy JD Nasty, and we diving into Delta Force Hawk Ops, bro. As of right now, the only way that you can get this or even play this game is if you have that beta access. I just put in for it. I don't have it yet. So what we doing right now, looking at live streams and checking out the YouTube videos, and that's what we're about to do. So let's just jump into it right now.
All right, so I've been playing some Delta Force lately. I was able to get in last night, and I gotta be honest, Delta Force is an absolute blast. I love it. I love a lot of the features. I'm going to talk about those in a second. I love kind of the gameplay flow, but there is something that you should know.
Okay.
They're lying to you. Today, we're going to be talking about the closed alpha for Delta Force. Now, across the board, it seems like over there on Twitter, everyone's having a pretty good time with it. Me personally, like I said, I've had a lot of fun with the game. I think that it flows well. I think there are a lot of good mechanics in the game that I'm going to talk about. But again, I think that they're being a little bit deceitful. Whether that's morally wrong or not, I don't know.
Talk to me.
So first, what you need to know is that if you don't have a key, you can hop over there on Twitch and you may be able to get a key from somebody. You may be able to win a key by watching them. They are giving those out with Twitch drops. But there are two different game modes that we can get into. The first one is an extraction shooter, which is sort of like the DMZ. I think it does DMZ a little bit better than DMZ does, actually. And the other one is a Battlefield style game where you can hop in and just explosions everywhere. Right now, it's a rush style of game mode, so you push forward, you've got attackers, defenders, you've got to capture each point as you move along the way.
And I'm glad he said Battlefield, because this game does remind me of Battlefield games. Everything about this game right now, reminds me of Battlefield. So I'm glad he said that. That's the first thing that comes to my mind is Battlefield off rip.
Hey, there are vehicles, there are infantry, there's a lot of stuff that will remind you of Battlefield. There's also the hero shooter mechanic as well. And I want to talk about that at the end because I didn't like hero shooter ideas. I didn't like the idea of hero
I don't know
shooters.
who that is.
They're not really appealing to me because they're a bunch of futuristic ideas. However, in this game, I think it works a little bit better than in Battlefield. I want to talk about that in a second. But let's first talk about graphics here and how it runs. Personally, for me, I have a 3090 and a 5950X. So either way, though, the game does look fantastic. The graphics look great. The rocks look great. I actually didn't know this was made on Unreal Engine 5. I do now. But personally, I have no issues with how the game looks. I think the terrain looks great. The animations look great. The movements look great.
Okay.
I think the game looks really, really good. But here in 2024, most games look fantastic, right? There's just not a lot of complaints that you can have in 2024 when it comes to the video games that we have. Moving on a little to the effects and the sounds. The effects visually look fantastic. The sounds, the weapons look superb. I don't have any complaints about that. However, I will say the directional audio and the distancing seems a little bit weird. Like sound, especially in the extraction game mode, is really important, right? And so there are some times that it seems like someone is super close to you. You expect them to come around the corner and then they don't show up. Like you still hear the sounds, but they're just not coming through. So that's one area that is a little bit rough in my opinion. The directional audio.
All right, that's gonna get me then.
It does give a good direction.
It's gonna get me.
Distance-wise, just seems a little bit rough around the edges in my opinion. Now let's talk a little bit about customization because this is gonna be one of the best things about this game. There are loads of ways to customize your weapons. I mean, it's got that Tarkov UI, Tarkov style UI.
All right.
And when it comes to this, you can adjust things like how close the optic is to you or how close the grip is to you. And a lot of these things affect handling or your ADS speed. A lot like Call of Duty in that sense.
That's
but
dope.
It's
I
not
like
as
that.
complex. And you don't have to worry about that weird graph going to different parts. It's just not as complex, okay? It looks fantastic. It's really easy to use. And there are a lot of different parts to each weapon. Not only that, there are also a lot of weapons in the game, which all the models, again, look good. I gotta be honest, I might be simping for this game. I've just really enjoyed it, and it feels really refreshing. And a lot of that, I think, is the movement speed. I want to talk about that for a second, because there are two different movement speeds. So they do something with the Havoc game mode, which is like the Battlefield style game mode.
I was gonna say, what's taking so long to shoot?
Game mode, because in the Havoc game mode, you've got this tactical sprint that you
This boy pulled out a pistol from range.
Right, so that's fine. Right, that's normal. That's Call of Duty. That's Battlefield. You've got tactical sprint to speed up a little bit, and then regular sprint. So they're going to have three different games essentially in one game, right? They're going to have the campaign, which is going to be grounded in realism. You're going to have a lot of like those slow-paced environments, I believe. And then you've got the Havoc game mode, which is the Battlefield style game mode, which is a little bit quicker. You're going to be moving around. You've got the hero abilities.
This boy loves pistols at range.
You've got the extraction game mode, which is going to be
it does look nice
a
though.
Little bit. same running speed, it looks like, but you're not going to have that tactical sprint. So I don't know. It may just be awkward. Okay. For me, it was awkward because I was trying to run away and I was just stopping. So very interesting thing that they're doing there. But in general, I enjoy the movement speed a little bit better than Battlefield. Why I think this pacing is so good. Why I think they've done a very good job of selecting the speed here is that it's not as fast as Battlefield or Call of Duty. Like you can, in Call of Duty, you can YY everywhere you want. And even in Battlefield, the Battlefield movements are a little bit quicker than normal. But in this, I feel like they've slowed it down just a touch from Battlefield, which makes it feel a little bit better, which makes it so that I, as a dad, am not trying to outpace everybody. I'm not trying to jump all over the map, which is what Call of Duty is, and even some Battlefield. It feels good, okay? The movement speed feels a lot better than those games. It seems appropriate for like the time to kill here. I think the time to kill is absolutely appropriate.
That's good.
It leads to a lot of fun gunfights, though, in the extraction mode. Good luck getting away if you get double teamed here. But what I also think pacing does is that it slows down those bodies a little bit, so they're not they're not just crazy. Right now in Battlefield, a lot of people didn't like the
what feature is this that you can see?
Shooter environment, and rightly so.
You can see through them. Like what feet? What is that?
Still, this on the other hand, because things are a little bit slower, because things aren't so spazzy, maybe because it doesn't look quite as realistic. At least the terrain, it looks a lot better. It feels a lot better, and those hero shooter abilities aren't just. It doesn't feel like they're spammed all over the place, which, in my opinion, is a good thing. I think that they add an interesting dynamic to the
pistol again.
Mode. I think that they add some unique abilities, and you and your squad can sort of communicate to figure out who wants to do what. Like for me personally, I use the recon. I was able to shoot some recon arrows with our team, and
that's
sort of
what that is. Recon
in certain positions, or figure out where a team wasn't, so that we knew it was safe. It was safe to go
get burned up by the fire.
So
I see.
Now, from a technical standpoint, the game had some issues, at least last night. Right, the servers didn't seem super stable. There was a lot of desync. It just seemed jumpy, which is fine. You know, personally, I don't care so much about that in this alpha state. This is just a test to figure out.
I say my accuracy is better, but good God,
they need to do something. If they need to tweak those servers, and so hopefully they get those sorted out by release. Let's talk about the gameplay design of their extraction shooter, though, because I think this is one of the best features. I think they took what the DMZ did and made it even better, right? So the DMZ was this large open map that you could go around. You've got certain missions. Everyone's going in their different directions and doing specific missions.
I never played DMZ. It didn't really.
That's cool.
Didn't really attract me.
But what they didn't do correctly is they didn't have a good stash system. And personally, I don't think they had a good mission system. So there are specific missions in this game that you can do. There are side missions, but there are specific spots on the map that that draw players there. But
I'm not gonna lie, I'm not too impressed.
I've encountered
I'm not too impressed.
Mode
it's either him that's not really that's not delivering it, or it might just be me. But as of right now, nah, I'm not too impressed. I feel like Battlefield might be better than this game. I mean, I haven't seen anything like jaw-dropping. This might be one of those games that paid for everybody to jump on board again. I don't know. It might be a hype beast. I have no clue, but I'm not too impressed thus far. 11 minutes and 15 seconds into this video, I'm not too impressed. Not at all. So
what they've been doing is they've been putting names with TTV or YT at the end to make it seem like that you're playing against real people. They'll have these random names, and then I check, and there's not a TTV there, right? There is nobody with that TTV name. Why would you put that name with TTV if you didn't have a Twitch, right? So I've checked. There have been several that I've checked over, and check out this engagement here. I want to show you that this is how, like, this solidified it for me that I'm not playing against real people.
Okay. I mean, it didn't look like real people from the get-go. What? What? What is going on here? Multiple people. Multiple bogeys.
Yeah, so as you can see, they're shooting through the bush. They somehow know that I'm there, and they're missing on purpose. Just a very, very sus thing to do. And again, this could be because there's not enough people in this closed alpha. I mean, that could be the case. It could be that what they're doing is they're trying to, with those low levels, because I obviously haven't progressed super far, they're just using bots as a filler to provide that low level gameplay, and then once you get to a higher level, it'll just be human.
I'll be shitty. I'm not gonna lie.
But my thought is that they're just using it to.
I didn't see one person to shoot at and I'm dead.
Hopping in right now and playing. I'll have to continue to play more to figure that out. But it feels a lot like PUBG when I'm hopping into PUBG again and I'm just playing against bots. They're not very smart.
I didn't know PUBG
So
had bots like that too, man. They got bots in there?
Do
Yeah, I don't know. The way that this man described it, might not be for me. Might not be for me. I mean, maybe I can look at others and check out some different videos. Keep looking at live streams, but it's a no-go for me. It's a no-go for me. Just off that video and how that gameplay was, and that was made a day ago. So I'm not too sold on this one. This might not be my cup of tea. I like Battlefield when it first came out. This one, I'm just trying to see the hype, and it sounds like this is a hype beast right now. But I mean, it's alpha, right? It's a beta. It's not all there yet. So I get it. I mean, I'm not dogging on it, but as of right now, I'm gonna have to see more. I'm gonna have to jump in there. Hopefully, I can get access before the beta's completely closed. I don't even know if I can even get in right now. It's your boy JD Nasty. That's my thoughts. Peace. And much love to you.